guys, it's Kelly here, and I am back with another video today. We are using the new Stamp Club set from Tonic Studios. This is the Happy Hibiscus. How fun is that? I love that they're doing tropicals in November because who doesn't need some tropical in November, right? So this particular stamp set, if you don't know about the Stamp Club for Tonic, it's not a subscription-based club. It's just a small stamp and die release that is every last Friday at the end of the month. Second to last Friday at the end of the month. It's at the end of the month, y'all. And this particular set is only being sold as a bundle. So you get the stamps and you get the dies. And there's just lots of really good stuff in here. The super cool thing about this is, so I'm using the background in its entirety, but once I get it stamped down here, which by the way, I'm stamping on watercolor paper because we are using Zig Clean color markers today. Once I get it stamped down, you'll see that there is this enormous floral, which is beautiful, right in the center. And there is a die that cuts that right out of the middle. So you can use it on its own, but then it also leaves behind this beautiful border so that, hello, shaker cards. What? Tropical shaker cards? Yes, please. I'll take two. So I am stamping this twice using my Nouveau Black Shadow ink. This is waterproof and alcohol ink safe. That's why I use it. Pretty much all my inks are alcohol safe unless they're specifically for watercoloring. And then it also has some detail pieces. This little heart I totally love. It's florals in the shape of a heart, which I thought is super cute. And they have really great sentiments like thanks, congratulations, I love you. And so I'm going to be using the I love you one with the little heart. And then I'm also using one of these little trim detail pieces. Now you can, because of the way that the die is, and you'll see that later on in the video, the die only cuts out the border portion. So, like, I just trimmed out the back because I wanted it as the back. But you could stamp an entire border with it and it would still be attached when you die cut it out, which I think is super cool. Here, we're getting into the coloring. I have sped this up. This is about 4 times as fast as it happened in real life because I wanted you to be able to see all the coloring. A lot of people come to my channel because I am a colorist. And also, coloring is just relaxing to watch, right? But I didn't want you to be here for 1 billion years. So that's why I went ahead and sped it up. You can still see everything. For this card, I am going to color it in its entirety with just the markers so you can see what that looks like before I add any water. I'm going to be doing some color mixing today. I very much enjoy color mixing. I just like kind of getting more out of what I have. So a lot of people over the years have asked me what set they should get for the Zigs. I only have the 36 and I have never felt the need like that I missed out if I didn't get the 48 or I just, because they sell them individually, anything that was kind of missing. And for me, it was really the red family, like some darker reds. I just purchased them as singles on their own and then just kind of made them make friends in my case and it's fine. But I am going to be mixing some colors. I would like some blue greens in there and I would like some yellow greens in there. I am going to use the markers to do the majority of the blending on this particular one. And then we'll talk about how you can get some softer color and a more watercolor look with the card that we're doing with the heart and the little trim piece. So this is part of a blog hop for Tonic Studios release, and they are doing a $50 giveaway to Tonic. So if you're watching on YouTube, the blog will be linked below, so you can head over there. I believe you have until November 25th to leave comments on all the blogs for your chance to win this $50 gift card, and then they'll announce the winner on their Instagram and their Facebook on the 27th. So I did use 2 different greens here, a brighter green and a darker green. Again, just trying to create some interest and some depth in the background. I know how busy this background is, okay? And I'm adding bright colors to it. And I understand that's not everybody's cup of tea. I totally, completely understand that. However, If you're on my channel, it'd be strange if it wasn't your cup of tea, but you know I like options and I like to give people options. So even though both of my cards are brightly colored, you don't have to do a full background piece like this is, because the bundle has so many ways to cut it out. Or you could emboss this to get a little bit more simple color. You could do softer colors instead of these big bright bold ones, but I chose my zigs on purpose to color this because I do love big bright bold colors. And that's just me. I'm a big bright color person. That's, and if that's not you, that's okay too. So we're just going to go through and do this. You can see here where I'm mixing the yellows and the greens. I put my darker color down first, and then I'm just going right over top of that with my yellow and kind of drawing that color out so that they blend. The great things about zigs is that you don't have to use water with them. You can use them just as they are, and the markers will blend themselves. I do find that I get a better blend, like a more cohesive blend. So if you're mixing several different colors, I would definitely recommend using water even a little bit. And that's what I did at the end of this, is I just went over it with the teeniest, tiniest little bit of water just to kind of smooth it out and give it that quote unquote watercolor look versus being just, filled in, kind of blocked off. But you wouldn't have to do that if you like maybe a less blended or bolder look, and that's cool too. So in the dies, so I told you, like, they have a bunch of cute little sentiments, and they have all these little tinier ones. They're not super tiny, but they're smaller, that go with the thanks, congratulations, etc., etc. But in the dies, they have these little framelets, which I am going to use, that create a stitched edge on both the negative and the positive, which I totally love. And then they have a large happy birthday sentiment and its halo. So I am also going to be using that. I find when I do busier, bolder backgrounds, I like to have a very simple, easily read sentiment, and typically I just put that in the center of my card. These watercolor papers are the Strathmore, and they are cut. They're like ready. They're called, I think, ready cut, I think is what it's called. But they are cut much larger than a card front. So it gave me plenty of room to stamp this down. I will eventually trim it down because I wanted to put a white border around it to tie in my halo later on. But yeah, just really good size set. So, as far as life goes, busy little bees, our numbers are rising in Ohio. We're back to a curfew, and, obviously limiting contact and all of that. Holidays are coming up. People are kind of weighing, like, do they get together with family? Do they not get together with family? You do whatever works for you. We are staying away from people, but we are going to get together with our families for Thanksgiving. That's just a choice that we made, to spend that time with our families. Our bubble is our immediate family, which is pretty much after the state, not right away even like after the state opened back up from complete shutdown. So no, because it wasn't right away, because it was even after May, that we kind of expanded our bubble into my parents and Eric's parents, and then that's pretty much what our bubble is. Because you have to take into account that everybody in your bubble is in a different bubble, and you know what I'm saying. So just be conscientious. I hope that your families are doing well and you are staying healthy. But obviously this, we are where we are, and we're 8-9 months into it now. And just trying to do the best that we can. We are both still working, which is, it really is a blessing. There's so many people out there who are out of work. I know that, like, some stamp companies that I know, and stamp stores that I know, are, they're small businesses and they're struggling, which I totally, totally get. And I try to support them where I can since I am still working. So if you have some monies to spend, please support your small businesses, local and otherwise. But everybody's just kind of feeling the effects of it. I think overall people, what are they calling it? They're calling it something fatigue. It's not COVID fatigue. It's quarantine fatigue, I think is what it is. And like for me, like I obviously have a husband and a child and I'm still working, so it is different, but like I cannot imagine, and I'm a loner. Like I have a lot of hobbies. I like to just be chill with my hobbies, stay in my house. I'm not going out anywhere. But I cannot imagine how difficult it must be if you are a person who lives alone and how challenging that must be and very, very lonely, which kind of breaks my heart. But, we're all just trying to make the best of it. So just be kind to people, no matter what their situation is. No matter how it comes across to you. We never know each other's stories in their entirety. So just be kind and love each other. In other news, we have been working quite a bit in the garage. I actually shared this. Well, I didn't share it on my Instagram. So we might as well just get into it, y'all. We've got this whole other thing going on, that we have shared. I shared it on Instagram. I have not shared on YouTube yet, called Our Tailor-Made Home, which is restoring furniture. We have both found that we really, really enjoy the process of restoring furniture. It's a really good way for us to spend time together. It's a really good way for us to teach Peanut things and to keep him off that screen time and his mind engaged. So we have really been enjoying that. And so when we were talking about how we would really like to refinish furniture and donate it, because like we don't have a need for all of these pieces in our home. But we do like the process. And so we talked about donating it. And then we decided that maybe we would try to sell a piece, like refinish a piece and sell it, and then use part of that money to buy a piece to refinish and donate, and then use the rest of the money to buy another piece to refinish and sell, and it would just kind of feed itself. So that's what we're doing. So I'm hoping to maybe have a secondary YouTube channel. That one obviously will not get as many videos just because, it takes a lot longer to refinish a kitchen table and chairs than it does to make a card. But that by no means means that I'm not going to be card making or that I'm not going to be sharing here. I certainly will be. But this is just something that our family has decided to do, to kind of give back and then also spend time together and teach Peanut about, hard work and accomplishing things and applying himself and all of that. So that's exciting. If you are on Instagram or on Facebook, we do have pages there as well. It's Our Tailor-Made Home Restored. So check that out if you're interested in seeing the actual pieces that I talk about refinishing. Okay, so here we're moving on to the more, I guess, watercolor look. So here you can see I'm just scribbling on the color. I'm not solidly coloring them in like I did on the first time. And this will result in a lighter look, also more watercolor look, because you will need more water to blend them. So if the last card was maybe a little bit too bold for you, this may be an option as well, because obviously the more water you add to the pigment, the lighter they are. I didn't go too light because, again, I like bold color. But that's certainly an option where you could put down less color, maybe just like one stripe of pink instead of 2 or 3 scribbles of pink, and that would certainly give you a more pastel or a lighter result. this is just, another way to use those markers. I know a lot of people use a combination of them, especially if they're doing scenes where they're using it in a lighter application with more water in one place, but then in a bolder application and maybe their focal point. So yeah, just some more options for the tools that you own. Other people have asked me about the Arteza markers, which I did do a comparison between the Zig and the Arteza. So if you're interested in that, that is on my channel as well. A lot of people have asked about those because they are cheaper. And we're all, trying to save our pennies, doing what you do. So since we discussed the new project that we've got going on, let's talk about some home decor things. So in my dining room, I now have my mother's china cabinet in my house along with my dining room set. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it. It feels very heavy in there because there's so much wood and we have dark floors. So I thought about painting it, but I'm hesitant to paint over wood because I like wood grain so much. So that's like a thing. But anyway, I was looking for mirrors. And I wanted an identical pair of mirrors to put on the wall. And I ended up finding this lady who was selling 2 dresser mirrors on Facebook Marketplace. And it was a good deal. And so I went and picked them up. But Eric kind of gave me a hard time about it because he said mirrors are dated. Now, I love my husband very much, but I don't think he knows very much about home decor or design. Because I think mirrors are timeless. They make the room look bigger. They are a classic design element, in my opinion. So I would like to know, what is your opinion? Do you, in making a room more modern or decorating a room, do you or would you include mirrors in your design? So back to the card. So I outlined everything because that's just what I do. And now I'm going to get into the die cutting. So I have a black piece of cardstock that I'm going to use one of those little stitch framelit dies out of. This is the die for that trim piece I was telling you about, how it stays attached. And then the heart, I'm just going to trim down the large piece because that's going to be my full background, but I am going to trim it down so it's just a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to use the happy birthday sentiment on the black sparkly paper, and I also cut out a white halo for it. So this is everything all trimmed down. Here I wanted to show you about how it stays attached, so that way you could build a whole border if you wanted to. I don't. I'm just going to place this underneath my sentiment. So I'm going to trim it out, and then the 2 little pieces that are still connected, I'm just going to snip with my scissors and move on. So the clean and simple card is, we're going to do the sentiment first. My apologies. So I'm going to do the sentiment first. I'm just going to heat emboss it on this framelit piece that I cut out. I'm going to treat it with my anti-static bag, stamp it in the Nuvo clear embossing ink, and then I'm going to heat set it in white. Just because that's my background, that's what I got going on, and if you watched my channel for any amount of time whatsoever, you know I love white lettering on a black label. I just do. It's a thing that I have. So the mirrors, that's what we're talking about. So I want to put the china cabinet, I think. I don't know. I'm torn about the china cabinet. But so if I leave it on the big wall, I want to put mirrors on either side. And then we have the wainscoting, which is white and like a sage green wall color. And so I want to paint the mirrors white and then put them like, so it's not just all one color of wood, because the dresser color that they are currently is pretty close to the china cabinet and what the dining room table was. The dining room table is now much darker. So with the sentiment on this one, I thought it would just be cute to have a little bit of a trim. Don't mind all the banging and noise that's going around in this house right now. Peanut is home from school and I only had like 10 minutes left of my voiceover to do, so he's graciously giving me that time. But while he's graciously giving me that time, I'm fairly sure he is just beating the house down, FYI. But so I thought it would be cute because I have such a simple little focal point to add some of this trim underneath the sentiment. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if at the end of the day I really love it. I think that it would be cute if it had like trim at the top and the bottom and had, you know, just the sentiment as the focal point. I'm not sure I love it this way, but here we are. That was the idea I had, and I stuck with it. Some stick-to-itiveness over here. So those are popped up on foam, and that one's done. I'm going to glue my sparkly happy birthday to my halo to make it super easy to read, because on a busy background, you know, it can sometimes be challenging to get a sentiment on there that is legible. So I'm just going to glue that right down to its little halo so it's nice and easy to read. And then I'm going to pop this up on foam as well once I get all the glue off of everything, because this glue was brand new, and so it was really very kind of hard to control. So pop this up on foam and put that into the center of my card. Now I toyed around with the idea of popping up the panel, which is totally an option, over my white card base, but at the end of the day I decided that the happy birthday popped up was enough. And then I didn't even add sequins or anything. Like, I just felt like it was good the way it was. Lots of color going on. I tried to place the happy birthday so that you would be able to see the flowers above and below it. And then I'm just going to simply just glue this flat down to my card base. I do have one regret, which is I did not add any sparkles to my cards. I know why I didn't, and it's because I was rushing to work. But in hindsight, I wish I would have added some sparkle. But that's it. Those are both cards. So if you'd like to comment for the blog hop, I'll leave that link below. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.